Hello and welcome back to Cities Skylines. I know it's been a while. How are you guys doing? Our city is about to hit 100 that... Oh, can you at least let me do my intro? These random disasters are getting really annoying now. 23.1, that is quite bad. No, the dam district! Oh no, it looks like the, Oh, that's one of my favorite parts of the city, too. That... It looks like it's centered on the dam districts. However, the dam is pretty close to that. Now I have, well, this could be extremely bad. In quite a few ways. So, we're going to... There is only a few things we can do about this. We're gonna do a few things if the dam breaks. However, first we are going to start by setting up a flood recovery center. So it needs to be close to the main city. I don't think the floodwaters would hit over here. This is something we should set up anyways. And it's just going to be a massive facility for handling flooding. So we're just gonna do this. It's just gonna be a pretty simple square, and then we're just going to connect it directly onto the highway with as much traffic lanes as possible. We are not going to be we're going to take this completely seriously. No cut corners this time. I'm very worried right now. We're just about to hit 100,000 population. Things are going so well. How can we get this properly across? We just need the flood trucks. You know, I can do this. This works. Come on, turn blue. Let me build something. Okay, there we go. If I do this, and then do this, possibly. 12 here, and then... this isn't working. Okay, so the entire beginning of this video is going to be me freaking out about roads like normal videos, so... Nothing has really changed. Yay, we're back to normal. Not for long. I feel like this is going to be very painful. I'm going to be honest. A level 23 earthquake, I don't even know how much damage that's going to be on its own. And being near the dam district, this could set us back quite a bit. I just need to hit it before this stupid... Wait, this only goes in one direction anyways. What am I doing? This is not a good idea. We should be just jumping this directly onto this part of the highway, because otherwise they'd be leaving the city, and the flood trucks have no reason to leave the city. So continuing to build this little off-way here, we should probably keep in mind that we need the flood prevention to be able to get everywhere, even with flooded roads, which is why we have this way to get onto this side of the city, which shouldn't be affected by the flood, but we're still recovering from other disasters as well. That tornado we haven't even fully rebuilt from that. So we have a way to get to Mulberry Heights, Sterling Park, the Belmont District, Dale Park, the Dam District, the Mountain District, Briarwood Square, Elizabeth District, and Aspen Park. That's pretty much the entire city safe. I am not worried about Gold Hills and Beechwood Hills. There's no way they're going to be affected by this. Oh, I mean, it's a level 23 earthquake. A few buildings may collapse, but they have their own fire department and stuff, so I don't think we have to worry about them. We're going to do a few other things though. Right here we're going to have a bridge that comes out to this, bridge, and that's just going to be the last emergency way for the flood trucks to go. Once again, hopefully we don't need this many precautions, but you can never be too safe in this game when it comes to disasters. There we go. I just accidentally lost just about 3 more seconds. Let's go to water, and these stations are expensive. We're going to blow well over $1 million on these. It's too steep. This is not going great, is it? Okay, let's rip down this district. I think I had bike lanes anyways. That isn't even the type of road we should have been using. I'm rushing a little bit too much right now. Let's just get this kind of medium. There, I think that's good. Let's just make it nice, pretty roads. Who cares about what type of road it is, really? We just need to get this working. There we go, looks good. Now we get the flood centers, and we're going to put down as many as we possibly can. It looks like we can do 4 there. It's not wide enough for more. However, we can probably build them off of this side. I think 8 will be enough. I think at that point there will be so much traffic caused by them that it won't really matter anyways. We do have a few emergency ways to deal with this flood I'm thinking about. I don't know why I'm assuming that something's going to happen to the dam. Level 23 earthquake, I've tested it with level 25s, and they are absolutely brutal. At the very least, we're going to have the water shaken, and some is going to spill over the edge. Worst case scenario, the dam breaks completely. But now we have all the water management centers set up over here, because the dam district also supplies water to everyone in New Vooperis. We should also have some water stations over here storing extra water. Actually, we can just plop them all right here. That's quite clean, actually. I like it. We're now down to $5 million in the bank. We just have to keep that in mind because repairs will not be cheap. There we go, the Flood Prevention Center is up, and let's see the damage from this. I would block this up, but if it doesn't break the dam, that would just cause a flood anyways. I don't want to do more damage than needs to be done. Oh wait, we should really be evacuating everyone. Does the dam district have evacuation routes? Let's see. No, we don't. Dam district, we're going to give you some emergency shelters right now. That's probably something I should have done, but I was focused more on the places that could be flooded when I put down evacuation routes, and honestly, all I hit was the Corgi district, which is the safest district, because Sterling Park and every other district, I'd have to rip down too much real estate to fit evacuation routes. Okay, so yeah, we were kind of lazy with our disaster prevention. However, I think that by being slightly strategic, we can get the majority of the dam district evacuated before the end of the earthquake. Although we have already wasted a few hours. That's slightly worrying. We're going to be evacuating the dam district immediately. We're going to leave the Corgi district, because the Corgi district will actually keep the money flowing in and keep us from going bankrupt if our main districts get destroyed. And now we're going to start evacuations. The dam district is now evacuating. We have room for 20,000 people. The dam district holds 13,000, which should be more than enough. Time is slowing down. That means the dam is about to hit. The power is going out. We have buildings collapsing already, and the earthquake hasn't even started. We have many people running to the evacuation shelters, which is good. It's a good start. How many people do we have in here? We have 20. Okay, that's slightly disappointing. Where are these people going? Or are they all disappearing at the cable? Oh, they're running away through the cable car stop? Okay, that works. I mean, that's not what I was expecting them to do, but if they're going to just... You know what? That does actually work. I think it's just a lot of them are despawning because there's so many people. So we have 1/10 of the population in the shelter, and here's the earthquake. It is shaking. Can we get a view on what's happening? There we go.
An earthquake is occurring.
Oh, that is...
And wait for help if you are in the
I can't actually tell. Oh, man. Okay, this is a bit more serious than I thought it would be. The dam district is gone. The dam is gone. Okay. First off, this looks very dramatic because it is very dramatic. We have lost the dam district. The entire city has lost power. We have some unhandled fires across the city. Some of the high-rises we're not going to be able to get fire service to. The Garland district is burning down. Sterling Park, without power, we can't get any emergency services out. We need to get an emergency power grid up and running. That's something I neglected. I put down a nuclear power plant, but during an earthquake, that's not a very good idea. We will resort to using... That's expensive. But we'd only need 2. So we're going to use solar updraft towers, and we're going to station them at the emergency district over here. We are also going to be very quickly expanding the emergency district. This is... the population has already dropped by 5,000, so we have 5,000 dead, and it's just started. We're going to put down a new disaster center, if it lets us. Nope, slope too steep, we need to flatten this area. One step at a time, we are going to make it through this. However, this is only the beginning. We've already lost a ton of people in resources, and the flooding hasn't even begun. And that was the entire worry. Okay, so we're gonna put down a road. We're going to get, there we go, a new disaster center up. Can we fit another one on the other side? I think if we terraform a bit, we can. There we go. Or landscape terraforming is slightly different than that. Okay, 2 disaster buildings are now up. I want to expand on this even more. This is going to be really expensive. We're going to be losing a lot of money. We need helicopters in the air taking care of the fires. We can't get people to these buildings on the ground. I'm going to center this around the Garland district because the Garland district is going to be affected the most. So we're going to put 2 centers down in the Garland district, wherever they really fit. There we go. If we do this, then we put this here. There we go. So our emergency fire systems are online. Let's see if we get lights back on in the city. We have people complaining about power outages citywide. We have power to this district. We have a broken connection, though. Okay, so everyone should have power back in 3, 2, 1. There we are. Most of the city is back with power. The floodwaters are beginning to drop through the dam area. We can't build a dam over where there is water. That's not an option. It looks like about half the dam district hasn't been destroyed. We do have the emergency road running this way. Part of the highway is still online. We have several parts of the city that don't have power. It looks like they were happy. Are we not creating enough? Are both solar updraft powers on right now? Oh, okay, that's an issue. They need sunlight, don't they? I mean, they have batteries, but we haven't had them on for a day yet. Okay, it looks like the power issues have been salvaged. The mountain district, we do have a way out of the mountain district. How many people did we get in the shelter? Was the shelter destroyed? No, the shelter has 1,000 people in it. The other shelter has, there's a, this is a mess. There's floodwaters coming everywhere. We need to get the shelter hooked back up, or else everyone in it's going to starve. Do we have a way to get there? Yes, we do. Okay, so 11 minutes in. I think the disaster started at like 1 minute. That was eerily close to the beginning of the video. This is going to be a problem. This is a lot of water, and because of that, we need to open emergency outways. But that may just make it worse. Where will the water be carried if we do this? It'll be carried down into that river. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up the emergency floodgates. And we're going to give the water a more efficient way to leave the entire dam area. Landscaping is extremely expensive, so we need to be very careful with how we do this. We don't want to go bankrupt. That would be game over. Okay, so we're draining emergency water. It looks like the waves from the earthquake are starting to pour over the dam district. Dale Park and Sterling Park are about to be hit by a massive flood. The Garland district is still on fire. How is our fire service in the Garland district? Anywhere that doesn't have good fire service is getting it now. We have $4 million still in the bank. That means we've had quite the drop. But what can you do? Gold Hills has no electricity. We're going to give them a local power system. Because I think the other ones may get flooded in a few minutes. So we're going to do cheap windmills. Just an array of them. If we can keep the money coming in from oil. Do we have an actual way for the money to get oil, not money? Do we have a way for the oil to actually get to the market, though? I think most of our main highway systems were absolutely destroyed. That's not quite enough power. We are we are using a lot of power for the oil industry. There we go. That's back online. One thing at a time. So it looks like Beechwood Hills and the Gold District now have power. They do have a way to ship out their freight. It's a slightly longer way. Oh wait, we blocked off the other way anyway, so it's fine. Train services are still running. How is the subway system? I think the subway system has been... yeah. So the subway system has been cut off entirely. We could have done that more efficiently anyways. It looks like the blimp system is going to have to suffice for now. We do have floodwaters incoming rather quickly. We can try to landscape, but I don't think I have enough money to actually do that. We're going to try to put a very simple block. Yeah, we're going to run out of money by doing this. The emergency services are extremely expensive, and I don't want to spend too much on this. We just used $300,000 just making that one little wall. I think it's safer to just let the disaster run its course at this point, and just give help where it's needed. We can't really block it off completely. We've given about 10 seconds extra over here. I want everyone... we aren't going to... We can't evacuate the Corgi district. We don't have the resources to survive that. The shelter is still getting materials. However, there goes the road. We're at 92,000 population. These flood centers are going to be gone any second now. Although I'm sure they're sending out vehicles, which they are. How is the emergency district holding? we are sending out many, many emergency vehicles. They are going straight into the highways. However, the highways are kind of congested because all the mass transit is gone. Dale Park and Sterling Park have about 2 minutes until the water hits. This is a massive amount of water. We have emergency helicopters everywhere trying to salvage what's left of the dam district. But the amount of water that's been unleashed, the emergency waterway we made earlier for the last little flooding we had is now going about twice the capacity it's meant for. It looks like the major bridges of the city are beginning to get covered, and here's the initial wave that's going to smack into Sterling Park. Before that happens, we are going to help out a little bit, and we're going to try to put very simple land blocks in the way, which means we're going to have to take the soil from somewhere, and that somewhere is going to be the side of the dam area. I could have done that much more strategically and pulled it from here. That's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up quite the hill right here. Just like a 10-foot wall to get rid of small waves. Once again, it's not going to do anything against the major wave of water, but, you know, what can you do? Now, you may be asking why I don't just close off the entire dam area, and that's because it'll cause more of a problem in the future. Because the only thing that was keeping this from spilling over was the dam, regulating the water. This isn't going to stop, so if we just built up a wall, it'll become more water than we can ever deal with. I mean, even this emergency reserve here would fill up to the point where the entire mountains would overflow. The only way that we can make this salvageable is by letting it drain, getting it back to a reasonable level, and then going from there. We do have some services that need to be rebuilt. This is a part of that expensive rebuilding. An entire river has been formed through the dam district. Oh man. The flooding is pretty bad. I'm not even sure if this flood wall is going to... This flood wall isn't going to do anything. I'm just... This is bad. This is the definition of bad. Like, at this point, we can expect to see upwards of 50,000 dead, probably by the end of the day. Or the game measures it in weeks, so by the end of the week, we're going to have quite the death toll. Sure, we can try to build up some defenses against the tsunami, but water in this game, if we haven't learned from Lost Vooperis, is unforgiving. Okay, so our simple flood wall over here is set up. It's going to protect the city for like 1 minute. The emergency services are trying to get everywhere at once, but it's about to get a whole lot worse. They're all focused on the dam district, where the rest of the city is about to flood as well. Hopefully we have enough flood trucks to deal with this. I didn't want to put so many flood trucks that it completely destroyed the city's traffic management, but at the same time we need a lot. And here's the initial wave of water. Hopefully the buildings in Sterling Park are strong enough to handle. I mean, the tiny ones at front are definitely going to be collapsed. There's no question about it. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water. Our major skyscraper is going to fall, though. I think they may be able to handle... No, it's going up like a story a second. This is pretty bad. We're at 91,000 population, which means a tenth of the population has ceased to exist. The floodwaters are going to begin overtaking the tallest buildings in the city soon. The shopping districts are all gone. There is a mess of flood trucks, which are trying to do their best to prevent the inevitable. They are actually succeeding in slowing down the flood. It's quite impressive. But they can't handle this amount of water. They're helping keep it from getting further down, but Sterling Park is flooded. I don't think there's much of a question about it. Sterling Park is now kind of dead. We're at 88,000, 87,000 population. The cars look like little bugs now. They're all just floating away. The flood trucks are trying their best. They're doing their job, but not enough. Not enough. The roundabout is about to be flooded. Actually, you can see what the flood trucks are doing because this entire roundabout is not full of water, whereas everything else is, and they're preventing the water from getting too far down here. I'm going to build up a floodway. It's going to cut off Briarwood Square, but Briarwood Square, the higher building, should be safe anyways. So here is my idea for a floodway. It'll be expensive, but it should actually get rid of a lot of the water. Because the water currently is just going over the city, and that is not what we want to have. We're going to have to break... We are going to have to break the subway line as well. However, I don't think it was doing very well in the first place with this disaster. This is going to be an expensive floodway. But it's pretty massive, so it'll move a lot of water, and that's its purpose. This is expensive. This is very expensive. This is much more expensive than I thought it would be. Okay, we're at $3 million. And the floodway is finished. This is going to allow a massive amount of water to escape into the other river system, because this river system's oversaturated. It's going to flood all the way down. The other river system, however, still has a bit of room. Yes, this is going to put a little bit of danger towards the Corgi district, but we can't sacrifice half the city. We've got to try to do what we can do. That is moving a lot of water. Sterling Park seems to not be actually doing too horribly. Considering the amount of water, we still have 30,000 population in Sterling Park. Obviously, the buildings on the edges were destroyed, but it looks like the water level isn't rising much further. It looks like it's keeping up to where it is. We're going to begin emergency preparations to build a new dam now. Okay, so we're going to have to build a little wall behind the dam area so that there's no water in the way. Oh boy, there is so much damage all over the place. It is going to be a very interesting rebuilding process. I can't even tell where the dam was anymore because everything's flooded. But that's actually at water level. We need to go a bit higher than that. Can actually get rid of a bit of the water by just dropping the bottom here. That does work. Okay, and just a little bit more of a wall has to be built up here. Hopefully the outlets we built in the back of this are enough to keep the water from rising. Actually, we can just keep it on this and do this. Bam. Lots of soil. Close things off. Okay. So, that's going to stop the floodwaters for a very short amount of time. Oh no, this is backflowing. That is not what we want to happen. This isn't getting rid of water anymore. This is now adding water. That's not something we want to happen. So we're just going to close it off completely for now. We're going to have to find a balance again for everything. That was pretty challenging to do, so it's not going to be fun. Stop that flow. Wait for that water to go away. Hopefully this isn't pouring in fast enough to do any real damage. We have pumping services ready to rebuild, but they're all flooded, so it's kind of ironic. It looks like we have abandoned buildings everywhere in Sterling Park. We just don't have enough. There's no way to prevent the water from going. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, Sterling Park, the buildings aren't destroyed, but people are just gonna run because it's perpetually flooded. And now there's a huge problem with dead bodies stacking up everywhere, and we don't have the death care necessary to deal with a disaster this size. Actually, we're gonna add some death care to the emergency center. That would make sense, you know. It's kind of morbid, but necessary. There we go. These are not cheap, but, you know, let's get some hearses out there. Do they only do close by? They do have a radius. Oh, shoot. Okay, never mind. Then that was bad placement. Why can't I delete anything? Why? Oh, because it's set to underground. There we go. Boop. Boop. Well, that was kind of a waste. They should be able to send out to the entire city. Okay, so here is what the flood war has come down to. 1 million flood trucks. In a line. Just an orange stream of trucks. Let's see how the Corgi district is handling. I don't know if the flood is... Look at that. It is really... That's a lot of water, and you can really see the height difference of the water now. You can see the effect that this is having on this river system. It is rising rather quickly. We're having death care problems in the Corgi district because all the other districts are so handled. The Corgi district is probably doing its best to support the other areas. So we're going to build some new death care in the Corgi area because they're going to survive. So they're kind of going to have to carry the rest of the city. We are still turning a profit, amazingly, because all of the things that cost money have been destroyed. To put it simply, there's quite a bit of damage across the entire city. Yeah, we have quite the problem. What's the population at? 75,000. So the population is not dropping too much. All the services may be wiped out. It may not be pretty, and there is a ridiculous amount of damage, but it looks like the city isn't actually going to be permanently dead from this. We have quite a bit of demand. Yeah, I think we are going to be fine. It is painful, though. That's kind of really sad to watch the amount of children drop slowly. Though I guess the amount of everyone is dropping slowly. Except for teenagers. Somehow the amount of teenagers is still going up. Oh, now it's not. What just got hit? That was like 1,000 people just disappeared. Oh, Briarwood Square is having serious power issues, so it looks like we're going to give them a few personal power generators too. The dam is nice, but depending on one source of power does not seem to be a good solution, especially when that source of power is extremely dangerous. Okay, so it looks like the floodway is doing its job. Water levels are beginning to drop. No, it's spilling over. Oh, that's the one thing we didn't want to happen. This needs to come down. We're gonna have to just flood the entire other side of the map. This is gonna be a mess to rebuild, but whatever. Whatever. We do what we gotta do. Rip it down. Rip it down. Rip it down. There we go. We just need to let the water out. There's too much. There's too much water. And now we are allowing massive amounts of water to flood out. Yeah. Honestly, this section can just be gotten rid of. We don't need this section to be full of water. This is pretty bad. However, the floodwater is beginning to retreat. It looks like some services are coming back online. We can pull down the flood walls. Now all they're doing is holding in water. There we go, looks good. Yeah, people told me to do the slope tool. I didn't even know that was a thing. I've never used the slope tool, so yeah. However, we don't need to use it at the moment. Look at that. We need the ferry back. So it looks like the flood is over and we're about to actually enter a drought. Because no water's coming in, but all the water's going out. There are so many things we have to balance here, and there are so many issues across the entire city. The population is just going to keep dropping until we have these things solved. We have death care issues. We've got issues everywhere. There's so many abandoned buildings. What is keeping the population up? The Corgi district is 1/3 of the population now. Elizabeth district, not really. Briarwood Square, nope. Is Beechwood Hills that big? No, that only accounts for like half of the population. How big is Sterling Park still? Wow. Sterling Park is still holding up with 20,000 people, even with the majority of the buildings abandoned. That makes me question how many people were in each building in the first place. It looks like... Oh, man. There's a lot of damage. I don't even know how to go about fixing this. But, I think that's going to be left for next time. I think we've done everything we could today. Oh, wait. Wait. That's a lie. We have to do one more thing. We have to get our dam back. Sure, it's a complete mess and it caused a ton of problems, but the dam district needs to be repaired and we cannot give up. We made our city so amazing. So rebuilding is going to be a fun process of ensuring that this never happens again. I'm gonna flood the dam district if I run this too long. How is the water rising that quickly? How is that physically possible? I just closed it. What side is taller now? This side. Okay. So this is working. It is draining a lot of water, and now we can drain this once again using that. Okay. That should balance everything out. We need a lot of water to leave. Oh boy. Okay, is this dry enough to build a new dam? It's almost there. We're almost at that point. Okay, let's see if we go to electricity. Can we set this up? Yes, we can. Okay, so we've got a dam back. Good. Now, what I mean by dry enough is if the water is over a certain point, it gets really buggy and it doesn't want to build a dam of this size. However, if we take care of the water and just have a thin layer, it'll let us do it. But it looks like we have everything back under control. Where are we going to dump this soil? We're at $670,000, guys. We are very close to going bankrupt. We're just going to break this open a tiny bit to allow the dam to start functioning again. And we're going to deal with the rest of the damage later. So things aren't looking quite as bright as usual in new Vooperis. However, I believe that we have done a pretty good job of handling the disaster. Although it looks like a lot of the coastal parts of the city and Sterling Park were hit pretty hard. We're going to have emergency services taking care of the lost. Literally, there's just people in this rubble. We have to get out. And it looks like the fire service did their job. There's no more fires going on all over the place. So I guess we're going to figure everything else out next time. Bye. Man, there's a lot to do. We're going to use this time to redesign a bit of the city because, I mean, everything's abandoned anyway, so we can definitely be a little bit more strategic about things. Oh boy.